Okay, and now do you see how it's starting?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been recording, and it will let you record up to 15 minutes long. Okay, so let's pretend like you're teaching.
So I am writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and what's going on? Is this gonna become a file or something?
It can either be a file or you can upload it to YouTube when you're done, which is what I chose to practice with.
Okay. So what we're checking out here is if we know that 40%, the probability of picking a cherry Jelly Belly is 40%. The question here, I know it's cut off from us, is we're looking for what we talked about before, the complement. Okay, so that means what's the probability of, well, what does that mean? That little C there? It means what's the probability of not cherry? Remember, the complement is when we don't get the cherry. All right. So if the probability that we get a cherry is 0.4 or 40%, of course 0.4 is equal to 0.40, which is 40%. That means the probability of cherry complement is going to be, well, what's the difference from 100? You got it. It is going to be 0.6 or 60%. So that reviews our little complement thing. Okay, now let's go ahead and go on to the lesson of the day. All right, so we are looking at what we're doing to get ready for that progress check that we're not going to take. But still, I'm going to ask you that you can be able to check all these off, and that as I create some final assignments for the marking period, that you can do all of these topics that we're talking about. All right. This is going to be on when you get that progress check and you get those formulas. We have learned this informally. We would never do this kind of work here. But for instance, it is kind of helpful when you look at something like this. What is this probability of A/B? What does that mean? Well, what's that word that we started to associate with this slash here? Do you remember? Correct. It's the word given. So we're really saying, what is the probability of scenario A given B? So this is how we're teaching, right?
Yep.
So if we had the probability of, just one more thing here, if we had the probability of finding hot coffee, okay, what we really want to know is the probability of hot given coffee. So what we do is, remember we tried to talk about this? I mean, you're going to do like it's real teaching, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So remember how we talked about, well, we take the coffee highway, we go to what's hot, and we simply take that right there. So there's nothing to solve or anything. We just simply say that probability is that it's got to be coffee. We know that, so we go the coffee route. And then hot coffee is 0.55 of that. And so this is probability of hot coffee.
So let's say you're done.
Okay,
right?
So that's it for today. We can end it here, right?
Right.